Good day and a very warm welcome to this special virtual celebration hosted by the University of Cape Town. We are honouring the graduates who completed their respective study programs in 2020. This event has been pre-recorded and it will be available for viewing on UCT's YouTube channel, on the UCT graduation webpage, and on UCT platforms in LinkedIn and Facebook. Graduation is one of the most important events in any university's year. It marks the accomplishment of years of hard work, often under very difficult circumstances. It is a celebration of the sacrifices made by every student, as well as their families and other supporters. Before the pandemic, you would have received your graduation certificate in a capping and hooding ceremony in the Sarah Bartman Hall. But as we all know, we need to take the responsible and necessary precautions in the fight against the spread of COVID-19. This means that for now, for your safety and that of your loved ones, UCT cannot host large gatherings such as graduation events. Instead, we have made special arrangements to confer degrees and award diplomas in absentia. Today's celebration commemorates your achievement and the joy that goes with it. You have crossed an important threshold in your life's journey, and we join you and your loved ones, wherever you are, in celebrating your accomplishment. As graduates of our esteemed institution, you represent the standard of excellence for which UCT is well known. The educational path you have traveled at UCT is only the start of your life's journey. We are proud of you and have great expectations of you as you proceed to become leaders of your future in your chosen professions and the various walks of life. To begin our ceremony, the UCT Chancellor, Dr. Precious Moloi Motsepe, will constitute the congregation. This will be followed by the South African National Anthem, performed by the Cape Town Youth Choir, whereafter the President of the Student Representative Council, Mr. Declan Dyer, will read the university dedication.
By virtue of the authority conferred upon me, I constitute this virtual assembly a congregation of the University of Cape Town.
Amen. Hello, my name is Declan Dyer, the President of the Students' Representative Council, and I will be reading the university dedication. At this time of celebration, we, the members of the University of Cape Town, reaffirm our mission to nurture rational and creative thought and free inquiry, to strive for excellence in teaching and research, to educate for life, and to address the challenges of our society. We undertake to advance these ideals in a spirit of freedom and responsibility, and through consultation and debate. We celebrate our predecessors, those who have built the fabric and nourished the values of UCT. To those of you who will graduate today, we wish courage, wisdom, and purpose. To those of you who will leave the university to learn and work elsewhere, may you be sustained by those values which unite us here today and advance them in the world beyond. A love of truth and of learning, and of this, our university.
Malaika, nakupenda malaika. Malaika, nakupenda malaika. Ningekuwa maliwe, ningekuwa dada. Nashindwa na mali sinawe, ningekuwa malaika. Nashindwa na mali sinawe, ningekuwa malaika. Pesa zasumbua roho yangu, pesa zasumbua roho yangu. Ningekuwa mbaliwe, ningekuwa dada. Nashindwa na mali sinawe, ningekuwa malaika. Nashindwa na mali sinawe, ningekuwa malaika. Malaika, nakupenda malaika. Ningekuwa mbaliwe, ningekuwa dada. Nashindwa na mali sinawe, ningekuwa malaika. Nashindwa na mali sinawe, ningekuwa malaika.
Dear graduates, on behalf of the Faculty of Humanities, congratulations on your graduation. It is such a wonderful achievement that you have come this far, especially in the midst of a global pandemic. Be encouraged by your achievements and your resilience. Be inspired by your ability to forge through and excel under these circumstances. And let the memory of your efforts drive you on in the course of your careers. You can be very proud of yourselves, and I wish you all the best in your future endeavors. It is sad that we cannot be together on this momentous occasion, but I trust that you are celebrating well with your family and friends. It is my pleasure to announce the winner of the UCT 2020 Book Award, Professor Herman Wasserman, for the book Media, Geopolitics and Power, A View from the Global South. The media played an important role in the transition from apartheid to democracy in South Africa. As the country moves further into the democratic era, that role continues to be contested. Herman Wasserman uses the complex intersection of media, democracy, and geopolitics as a point of departure to analyze broader issues to do with the role of the media in new democracies, the impact of new global power blocks on media infrastructure, norms and practices, and how power relations play out in media representations and discourses. This book resists the glib narrative of progress from authoritarianism to liberal democracy, often found in democratization literature, while acknowledging the centrality of the media in political processes and democratic debates. Wasserman argues for a re-examination of the link between the media and democracy in such a way as to illuminate the conditions in transitional democracies in the Global South, where internal conflicts over the media's norms, values, and practices tend to continue for long after the formal transition to democracy. Wasserman's book provides a benchmark from which to engage ongoing discussions of media, democratization, ethics, and social change on a global level. It does so with scholarly expertise, rooted in a particular context and a political commitment to broadening the field of global media studies to be more reflective of communicative conditions, social contexts, and economic realities in the Global South. I am delighted to introduce the two humanities recipients of the UCT Distinguished Teacher Award for 2020, Dr. Tessa Dowling and Professor Amrita Pandey. Dr. Tessa Dowling is a senior lecturer in African languages in the School of Languages and Literatures. Dr. Dowling is consistently described as an exceptional teacher, skillful, energetic, dedicated, and empathetic. She articulates clear teaching goals regarding first and second language speakers of isiXhosa, to learn a language and communicate, and to read, write, publish, and edit in the language. Her teaching is underscored by the conviction that skills in indigenous languages can positively change relationships among South Africans. A consistent thread in the testimony to Dr. Dowling's teaching is her humility and humanity. She demonstrates openness and a desire for students to succeed, which have translated into a range of teaching methodologies and activities inside and outside of the classroom, contributing to students' success. Dr. Dowling must be commended for transforming the way in which students experience isiXhosa and the collaborative manner in which she engages students in learning and research. Her teaching and mentorship continue to impact positively on the work of students in a wide range of disciplines, far beyond the classroom. Associate Professor Pandey from Sociology recognizes the intersectional ways in which higher education works across class, gender, ethnic, and access divides. She is a celebrated scholar and is recognized internationally as a leading theorist and practitioner in the field of globalization, gendered bodies, and new reproductive technologies. She draws on her research to introduce critical and current content to sociology courses at both undergraduate and postgraduate levels. As a teaching champion and leader, she has a significant impact on curriculum change, by recontextualizing it to be more relevant to South African and Global South contexts. Acutely aware of the historical challenges that impact on students' experiences at university, she strives to make her classroom socially inclusive and socially aware, drawing on her research to introduce critical and current content to the curriculum. Her unwavering concern for her students' well-being, academic growth, and developmental trajectories attests to a commitment and generosity that go beyond the call of duty. In successfully aligning her teaching and research interests, she has become a highly sought-after supervisor with a research vision to shape positively an emerging field of critical scholarship and teaching in sociology. I am delighted to present to you the Humanities Fellow inducted to the UCT College of Fellows in 2020. This fellowship recognizes original, distinguished academic work that merits special acknowledgement. It is one of the highest accolades an academic staff member can receive at UCT. Professor Mark Fleischman is a recognized thought leader in the field of theater and performance around the world, having especially excelled in an area of the discipline known as theater or performance making. His practice shifts the focus of making theater to the creation of new work and looks to various kinds of popular and scholarly archives as the starting point for a critical excavation of the legacies of oppression that produced those very archives and their silences. In this way, his creative practice invests in producing new critical meanings from the remains of the past, while also calling on us to imagine vital new possibilities and radical futures in the afterlife of empire. The decolonial ethic that suffuses much of this work places Fleischman's research at the very cutting edge of contemporary African scholarship. Of particular note in this regard are his efforts to draw traditions of African tragedy into contemporary relevance for a South African and international audience by exploring the post-colonial, post-apartheid condition through themes of migration and belonging. His research has materialized primarily in rehearsal and performance spaces, and the outcome results in productions and/or workshop projects that are documented in writing or through other media such as film and audio. During his time at UCT, Fleischman has broken significant ground in developing the profile of the discipline and positioning it as an essential and valid site of knowledge production within the institution and the global scholarly community of which it is part. Coupled with this, his deep sense of duty and ethical commitment to social responsiveness, his investment in socially engaged paradigms of performance scholarship and practice has also had an essential and demonstrably positive impact on communities beyond the walls of the academy, both in South Africa and abroad. The range of projects that he has pursued over the years of his performance scholarship and practice ably demonstrates the best qualities of socially engaged research and the wide-reaching impact that he in particular has had on the many worlds he touches as an artist, theater maker and director, lecturer, researcher, and social activist.
Vice-Chancellor, I have the honor to present for the award of the degree of Doctor of Social Science, honoris causa, Yoga Pragasan Govind Sami Yogan Pillai. If you believe what you see on movies and TV, you're likely to think that public servants are a stodgy, officious bunch who love hierarchies, regulations, and bureaucracy. Civil servants are portrayed as soulless, lazy, and even corrupt autocrats who care more about themselves than their citizens. However, in reality, working in the public service requires optimism, caring, ingenuity, persistence, and a boundless collaborative spirit. Enter Jürgen Pillay. He has been described as a public servant who rarely served the public, one of the most effective post-apartheid public servants, and Mr. Delivery. And indeed, he has been supremely effective and has really delivered. He is also personable, open, committed, and understands what service means. It is not about fanfare, not about personal glory, but it's about working really hard, constantly, in the background for the greater good. Jürgen Pillay graduated with a BSc in Psychology and Physiology from the University of Durban-Westville. After completing his honors and master's degrees, he was awarded a Fulbright scholarship for his doctoral studies at Johns Hopkins University. The title of his thesis was The Politics of Exclusion, Health Policy in South Africa, 1910 to 1990. So he was ideally placed to join the National Department of Health in 1996. He has spent 24 years there, most recently as the Deputy Director General responsible for health programs. When he started, he was faced with the nightmare of a fragmented and unequal apartheid health system, the same structured exclusion described in his PhD. He set about refashioning it into a single, coherent health system that serves all South Africans. He was responsible for increasing access to antiretrovirals for HIV treatment. South Africa now has the largest antiretroviral treatment program in the world, with 5 million people on therapy. This has effectively increased life expectancy in South Africa by 7 years for men and 10 years for women. He reshaped our national tuberculosis program from a patchwork of services into a single comprehensive system. He was also responsible for major innovations in the treatment of multi-drug resistant TB. Under his leadership, the transmission of HIV from mothers to babies and the number of mother, baby, and child deaths were significantly reduced. And these are not just statistics. Each TB sufferer, each HIV patient, each mother, each child at risk matters. Since 2009, South Africa has gone from being in a woeful position on HIV and TB policies and services to a country that is recognized as globally leading on many innovations aimed at reversing these epidemics. And Jürgen Pillay has been central to this transformation. Last year, he retired from the department and took the position of country director to the Clinton Health AIDS Initiative and senior advisor on universal health care. And I'm not sure when he had the time, but Jürgen Pillay is the co-author of 3 highly regarded textbooks, including the Oxford Textbook of Global Health, 8 book chapters, and over 100 articles in peer-reviewed journals, including The Lancet. This is a scholarly profile that many academics would be proud of. We honor Jürgen Pillay today for being a champion in the fight for health equity and improved health delivery for all South Africans. We honor him as an engaged and humble public servant for his steady hand, his clear vision, and his can-do spirit. We honor his commitment to ordinary South Africans and the difference that he has made in their lives. We honor him for his humanity. Vice-Chancellor, I have the honor to present, for the award of the degree of Doctor of Social Sciences, honoris causa, Yoga Pragasan Govindsamy Pillay.
Many thanks to Professor Lewis for her very generous oration. I'm humbled by the award of an honorary doctorate from the University of Cape Town and would like to sincerely thank my colleagues who nominated me, in particular Professor Linda Gale Becker and the university's leadership who supported my nomination. There are a large number of people that I would like to thank for assisting me to achieve what we did collectively in the National Department of Health between 2008 and 2019, one of whom is the former Minister of Health, Dr. Aaron Matsuledi, as well as the former DG of Health, Ms. Precious Matsotso. We were able, over the last 10 years, to move from a hospital-based antiretroviral program for the treatment of HIV to a primary healthcare nurse-based program, which has enabled South Africa to become the largest antiretroviral program in the world, with over 5 million people on antiretrovirals, which has enabled the country to improve the life expectancy of both men and women, especially those with HIV. We also were able to introduce the Gene Expert technology for the diagnosis of TB. We introduced the HPV vaccine for young girls to prevent them from contracting cervical cancer, as well as introduced new medicines, including bedaquiline for the treatment of multi-drug resistant TB. On the side of maternal mortality, with the help of Professors Jack Moodley and Bob Pattinson, we were able to reduce institutional maternal mortality by 35%, according to Stats South Africa. I was also privileged to be able to lead 2 large national surveys, one being the National TB Prevalence Survey and the second, the National Immunization Coverage Survey. Both these surveys are very important to tell us how the TB and immunization programs were doing and where the gaps were. And these programs will help us to strengthen both these programs. I was also privileged to be able to introduce, with the leadership's support, 2 innovations in the space of mHealth or digital health. This being Mum Connect, which enabled pregnant women to receive stage-based messaging, as well as to send us both complaints and compliments about the services they received either during antenatal care or labor and delivery, as well as BeWise, which is a Mobi site that was intended to reach young people with messages around their health concerns as well as their social concerns. And we were privileged to be able to launch both those during my tenure in the National Department. COVID has played a major role in turning back the clock in some respects, and I'm hopeful that some of the gains we've made will not be lost during this COVID period. I'd like in particular to thank the frontline health workers for all of their support, both during COVID and post-COVID. I am sure that working together, we will be able to improve the health of all South Africans and bring equity into the health space. Thank you very much.
As children, we dreamed of what we could be. It was a hopscotch of anything being possible. And seeing our future selves was as easy as tossing a stone and skipping from block to block. Being a doctor was an electrical cord turned stethoscope. A toy gavel gave us the authority to judge the world without objection. We transformed into Oprah in front of the mirror, where a deodorant bottle is a microphone. In candlelight and choreographed dance steps, a music video we filmed inside our heads. A lifetime of pretending, where a brick is a car. Plastic bags are soccer balls and swings are airplanes. Tennis balls double up into cricket balls. Stones and sticks are stumps, a merry-go-round of imagination. It was dizzying to believe in ourselves. But no one could tell us otherwise. Even then, we imagined a dream to be formless clay, and we were potters, giving it shape under the press of our palms and our fingertips. There's a kind of magic to transforming the nebulous into the material. How clay becomes a bowl or a teapot. How a dream can become a living, trusting the fire not to digest what is in the belly of the kiln. The potter fashions the body of the teapot. The spout, the handle, the lid, imagines the heat of the water it will hold and the leaves that will brew and bleed color. But the potter does not know who will come for tea, whether this teapot will serve every day or only grace special occasions, or whether it will hold tea at all or simply perch on a windowsill and harvest light like other pieces of art. Today, You are a dream emerging from the fire, glazed and heated with new knowledge. You may not yet know what you will become, or whether your diploma or degree will make some meaning in the world. You were once formless hope hidden in clay. And here you are, taking shape, finding a place in a world that does not seem to have enough for you to show up as a dream. So quench the world with water until it yields under your palms, until the clay bleeds between your fingers. Hollow it out to make space for you and everything you will pour out for us.
By virtue of the authority conferred upon me, I admit to the degrees specified and grant the diplomas and certificates specified to the candidates recorded within this virtual graduation ceremony.
Today, we celebrate the 1,712 graduates in the Faculty of Humanities, our 11 PhD graduates, and our distinguished Teacher Award recipients, Dr. Tessa Dowling and Associate Professor Amrita Pandey, our Fellowship Award recipient, Professor Mark Fleshman, our Book Award recipient, Professor Herman Wasserman, and our honorary degree recipients, Dr. Yoga Pragasan Pillai. We honor the hard work, discipline, and passion you each brought to your time here, including what you accomplished during lockdown, working under conditions that were unthinkable before COVID-19. Your perseverance brought you here today. We also celebrate what lies ahead because your education is so important, not only for yourself, but also for South Africa and the world. I hope you leave UCT with a commitment to make your education count for others as well as yourself. Thanks to digital technology, we are all global citizens. As much as I would prefer to be standing before you in Sarah Bartman Hall, I look on this virtual ceremony as an opportunity to think about your reach into the world. In the past, when change came to Africa, it was brought by colonial powers. Today, we have the opportunity and the responsibility not only to initiate our own changes, but also to help change the world. In fact, the world needs our point of view because the old ways of thinking have not stopped it from becoming what it is today. Those of you who are graduating with PhD have spent years building a perspective on your topic that no one else has achieved. I wish we had time to read out all the thesis titles because they give such a vivid picture of the many different ways these new doctors of philosophy are contributing to African-based knowledge. Here are a few samples. Investigating the impact of a parenting intervention within a rural South African community, a longitudinal social network analysis. Analyzing the relationship between seed security and food security, the case of Chimanimani district in Zimbabwe. Development and empowerment of previously marginalized languages, a case of African languages in South Africa. Researching race, space, and masculinities in Bishop Levis, a critical ethnographic study. Every PhD graduate is proof of UCT's mission to be the best for this continent in research that makes a difference in people's lives. Thank you for keeping the African light shining bright. All you graduates have been through two recent crises with us. The first is the global pandemic. The second is the UCT fire on 18th April. On top of those shared experiences, each of you has endured personal trials, mishaps, and perhaps even griefs as students, because that is just part of life. This means you have grown at UCT. In achieving your degree, you have demonstrated your strength. After the glow of graduation has worn off a bit, I invite you to think over not just the triumphs, but also the hurdles and mistakes you experienced in your studies. The world needs those life lessons just as much as it needs your educated knowledge. It needs to see your example of courage and growth through hard times. The UCT community also wants to know your story, so please use #UCTGrad2021 to send us your photographs and news. Tell us how you and your family are celebrating and what you plan for the future. Chancellor, I call on you to dissolve the congregation.
Thank you, Vice-Chancellor. Graduates, I thank you also on behalf of UCT and South Africa for putting in the hard work to earn this rite of passage. As you begin different journeys and as you find your feet amidst the challenges facing the world, you're also called upon to become the leaders who will make a difference. The search for knowledge and worldly experience does not end here. Seek out mentors who will guide you and become that mentor to others. Seek out opportunities that will empower you and create opportunities to empower others. South Africa, Africa, and the rest of the world needs the fresh approaches, the independent thought, and the burning desire to see change that is abundant amongst yourselves. According to Martin Luther King, we must accept finite disappointments, but never lose infinite hope. Regardless of your dreams, if you are led by integrity, your hope must be steadfast in driving your dream for the long haul. COVID-19 may have stolen your graduation ceremony, but it cannot take away your education. Congratulations on all that you have already achieved, and my well wishes for all that you will achieve going forward. By virtue of the authority conferred upon me, I hereby dissolve this virtual congregation of the University of Cape Town.